President Trump has made that the point of conversation. You referred to, we have trade imbalances with a lot of countries to the east, right? Is this, you reckon, an opportunity, again, academically speaking, an opportunity for India to look at some of those trade relationships and say that, these imbalances cannot sustain, just like America is saying that, an imbalanced trade relationship is not working for them?
Well, we've had concerns. We have articulated those concerns. This is not my direct remit, but I have a visibility into it, and we work as a team within the government. I think one of the issues for us, for example, has been the review of the ASEAN-India Trade in Goods Agreement, ITIGA, which we believe has been unnecessarily prolonged. I think it's important for all countries today to realize that the nature of the global discourse on trade is changing. There are new parameters, there are new metrics of judgment. I think countries will do what they need to do to protect their businesses, to protect their labor, to protect their societies. We cannot be an exception to it. So I think we have concerns with many of the countries east of us, countries with whom we have FTA arrangements, and also countries with whom we don't.
Prime Minister was recently at the BIMSTEC summit. You were there with him. It's the first time that he met with the new interim leader of Bangladesh, Professor Yunus. There's been a lot of concerns here in India about some of the statements that have been made by the leadership there, some of the goings-on the ground, whether it's attacks on minorities, so on and so forth. From within whatever you can divulge in the public domain, what did the Prime Minister tell Professor Yunus, particularly on this comment about India's northeast being landlocked and, Bangladesh being the gateway to the ocean, and also on the attacks on minorities, on both those issues?
No, look, I think the main messages from our side, which came out at the meeting, one, that our relationship with Bangladesh, for historical reasons, is a very unique relationship. It's a very fundamentally a people-to-people connect, much more so perhaps than any other relationship than I can think of. And that's something we need to recognize. So, it's not necessarily one of the government of the day. Secondly, we have concerns. We have concerns about the rhetoric which is coming out of people in Bangladesh. We have concerns about radicalizing tendencies we see. We have concerns about the attacks on minorities. And I think we were very, open about sharing those concerns. Again, as a country which no country wishes Bangladesh well more than us. That's in our, I would say almost in our DNA, if you can say that. And as a well-wisher, as a friend, I think we hope that, they make the, go the right way and do the right things. And as a country with a, which has a democratic tradition, democracies require elections. That's how mandates are given and mandates are renewed. So, we hope that they go down that path.
From well-wishers to not-so-well-wishers, I want to talk about Pakistan. Two questions. One, because this news just came this morning, the Tahir Rana, who's the convict in the 26/11 attacks, is likely to be extradited perhaps in the next 24 to 48 hours. So I want your comment on that. And second, this whole thing, Balochistan seems to be in a bit of a flux, and Pakistan has resorted to its old, copybook that, India is doing this, so on and so forth. So on both those issues, I would like your
there's nothing really new that I can say on the Tahir Rana issue. I mean, obviously, we welcome the decision of the American legal process. On the Balochistan issue, look, I don't want to say anything. I mean, there is clearly a very disturbed situation there. People are suffering there. And if I say something, there'll be finger pointing. So I don't want to say it.
But just on the principle that, every time India says there is terrorism emanating from Pakistan targeting India, you're met with a stone wall.
Look, Zaka, I don't have to say it. It's visible. Even they say it. But it's not like I'm making an accusation and everybody in Pakistan is there saying, no, this is completely untrue. You have people in Pakistan who openly declare that they are doing terrorist activities in India. So this is not an argument. I mean, this is not a hypothesis. This is something they proudly claim. So I think, we've always maintained, not just us, I mean, all sensible people have maintained that if you start a terrorism industry, you will be consumed by it, and that is exactly what we are seeing today in Pakistan.
So at a time when, there's an acceleration for regional partnerships and so on, you don't see any future for SARC, given if Pakistan does not change its tack and does not use or employ terror as an instrument of state policy?
Well, let me pose that question to you. I mean, would you be okay if we were nice to each other in the morning and I come and attack your house at night?
Certainly not.
I mean, would you live with it?
Certainly not.
Then why would you even ask me that question?
No, just in the context of SARC. Let me also come to last few questions. The relationship with Canada. We've had a pretty, certain issues that plague the relationship in the last couple of years. There's going to be an election there soon in the next few weeks. Are you considering reinstating the Indian High Commissioner in Ottawa? Is there anything moving in that direction post the election?
Look, again, I'm very cautious in anything I would say publicly about Canada. They're heading for elections. I don't want a remark become an issue out there in their politics. For us, the direction in which ties have gone is something which, again, we believe has not served the interests of Canada. The kind of latitude that was given to people espousing extremism, secessionism, violence, if you import such people and encourage such people, it's going to have consequences in your own landscape. And, what we were saying, in a way, the cautions we were uttering inside the room, unfortunately played out outside the room as well. So we would like certainly to see, after all, it's a big country, Commonwealth country with whom we've had, generally good relations. Yes, things, again, for almost exactly the same reasons had happened in the 80s. So to the extent that, we see them recognizing the problem and, not giving that kind of political space to such forces, if we would then naturally take that into account. I mean, I have no gain by having bad relations with Canada. I would like them actually, I would like both sides to mend the relationship. But I would also like people to recognize that there's a real problem out there. And the problem is, the kind of space given to these forces.
One final question. We're anticipating President Putin of Russia to visit India at some point this year. In this new emerging global order where, President Trump wants to end the war, he's talking directly to both Russia and Ukraine, how does India figure in this emerging matrix? Because India is one of the few countries, yesterday the Prime Minister was here, India is one of the few countries that can speak to both Russia and Ukraine and has good relations with both.
We've had a very, I would say, both a sensible position and a helpful position. Sensible in terms of very early on, we took the view publicly that this conflict cannot be resolved on the battlefield, that it was necessary for a return to dialogue and diplomacy, that it was important for the parties concerned to talk to each other, because that was not happening. And there was actually a view at that time that everybody else would gather together and somehow produce a solution, and the other party, in this case Russia, would be confronted with that as a choice. Now, much of what we held in 2022, 23, 24 has actually come to pass. So you know, there's no vindication in it. I mean, in fact, if anything, there is regret that, you know, so many lives have been lost, so much time has gone, so much damage has been done, not only to the countries, but to the global society and to the international economy. But, okay, now there is a greater understanding that we need, appreciation that we need to actually, they need to engage each other. So, to the extent we can sort of motivate that, foster that, encourage that, we would do that. And you know, again, I maintain that we've always, you know, what we said in Moscow was not different than what we said in Kiev and what we said in third places. And we've tried to, you know, have conversations here, take those there with the approval of each party. And so that's one part of what we've tried to do. The other is, you know, there have been different dimensions of this conflict which have popped up from time to time. Different countries have weighed in, and I think it's such a really serious issue. It's natural. It's not a single or a small number of countries. We approve of all of that. I think anything which any country can do or any group of countries can do to help, we welcome that. We've tried to do a few things ourselves. We weighed in with other people. You know, it could be some of the nuclear-related issues, or it could be grain corridor, or whatever it is. But the objective is to help. The objective is not to put yourself ahead. I mean, we're not, you know, actively searching for a role. But if, you know, either of the parties or any other country comes and says, look, can you help out on this? We'd be open to doing it.
All right, and I'll wrap up. I know you like cricket a lot. So these 2,140 days as the longest-serving foreign minister post-Nehru, you look at it as a test match, as a T20, as a one-dayer, or this is your career with an asterisk, not out. S Jaishankar batting at 2-1-4-0, not out.
No, I think on this one, look, it's been, again, it's been a very interesting heading to 6 years as foreign minister, but I treat it to some degree as a continuum of what I was doing earlier. In a way, I think the next few years will be extraordinarily challenging. It'll be challenging for the world. It'll be challenging for us as a country, precisely because we have to keep rising through all this clutter, through all these tensions. And to be associated with that process, to be given responsibility of that process, I think is a great honor, it's a great responsibility, and I'm very, very, you know, grateful for it.